Hello, it's me, Galen. Galen's got Parkinson's. I hope you weren't too frightened by the thumbnail or the sight of these horrific orcs marching towards you in threatening column. Now, I'm going to look at two of the miniature figurines mid-early 1970s range that was specifically made with a license from the Tolkien family, and they are the first officially. I've tried to find evidence for others, but I can't. These are officially the first ever wargaming fantasy miniatures specifically designed for Lord of the Rings. And they were made, as I say, with permission from the Tolkien estate. I got these in 1973-74. So I don't know if they were around before that, but this is when I got them. I've always loved these fellas. I got a chance recently to buy a few from a friend to give myself a much bigger force, because I always think they look amazing in bulk. I've got more than this, but this is what I thought made a reasonable picture for you. And I'm going to concentrate on the orcs. And there were three types of orcs. There was the axemen. There were men with scimitars, who I wasn't keen on, so I don't have any, so I can't show you them. And there are men with spears that I am going to show you. Men with orcs with spears. And then I'm going to show you the Nazgul. Now, the Nazgul I'm going to show you is not the one I got first. The one I got first was a lot smaller and pretty much looked like a pterodactyl with a relatively small rider, and he was just black cowled figure with a shape for a face. So this isn't the Nazgul that came with the original group. And I'm going to show you more of the orc army that I have, but they aren't from the original Tolkien range, apart from the goblins. And I've done quite a few things with the goblins. If you look back through earlier videos, you'll see Faramir and his men fighting goblins in a forest using the old 1970s Britain's trees, with a set of rules that me and my mate cobbled together in the 70s. Because there were rules, but we liked making our own rules. The reason why I'm talking while this is on is because I want you to have a nice, good, long look at them. And I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to show you the spearmen. So these are what we call the spearmen. If you like these figures and would fancy getting some of your own, either for nostalgia's sake or just you might be new to the hobby, what I would say is, if you are new to gaming, or you're sort of not overly happy with the complexity of trying to paint modern figures, these chaps are so easy to paint and to get a brilliant result out of. There's virtually no detail, and these are as they were in the 70s. So the chainmail, the mail is just silver. I haven't inked it, I've not shaded anything. It's exactly as it was. And I love the effect of them en masse. And you can buy them. If you go to Caliver Books online and you go to Miniature Figurines, it's on the left hand side. You go to sort of classic figures and things. And then you go down to, I think it's classic fantasy and science fiction, and you can buy these chaps. And they are a sensible price. You have to wait, because they cast them to order, which makes sense, doesn't it? But if you like the look, and you want to do a sort of historical retrospective type, this is what fantasy, this is where it came from. Without these lads, there would not be the same types of fantasy figures. People after this, even miniature figurines, start to do Dungeons and Dragons. Miniature figurines called theirs Sword and Sorcery. Ralph Arthur started making figures in about 79. Citadel start making figures in the late 70s. There are people now, if you go to find a company called Broadsword, and if you can't, have a look at on the comments of my figures, one particular about a giant that I mistakenly thought was Citadel, and he turned out to be Hinchcliffe, and they are making redoing the Hinchcliffe Dungeons and Dragons figures from the late 70s. And you can find these things, you can find them on eBay. I'd get them used, get them badly painted, because then all you've got to do is a little bit touching up and they're ready to go. And they're a lot cheaper than fancy figures, and I think the effect is very, very exciting. But then again, I am old and feeble-minded, so I'm not sure I would necessarily take that as a recommendation. Here he is, Nazgul. Like I say, he's not the original Nazgul. I don't have him anymore. They also did Smaug, and he was a devil to put together, because back in the day we didn't have super glue, and we had to try and try to sort out working with araldite and mixing it all from different smelly tubes and getting it wrong. And most of us gave up in the end. And he wasn't that big either. He was quite small. And I do have some trolls, and when I show you them, you will laugh, because they're about the size of a halfling. But I'm not doing that today. I'm just going to look at it. And I wanted to show you this fella because he fits in with the scary nastiness. And he is a Tolkien figure. It's a Nazgul. It's not, what else could it be? You know, you could call it what you like, but it's a Nazgul. I'm going to let you see a slightly different view of him in a minute. I think this was the best Nazgul they did. I really like this chap. He looks to me very, very threatening. He's got that almost velociraptor look about him. And again, we're looking at 1978, 79. So it's going way back. I was 19, I think. Yeah. I was very excited when this chap came along.